The Viezari Dominion had seen countless worlds kneel before them. Their empire stretched across the stars, an unbroken chain of conquest fueled by superior technology and ruthless efficiency. No species had withstood their advance, and humanity, a backwater civilization on the fringes of known space, was no exception. A single cruiser was dispatched, a vessel of imposing magnitude, its hull adorned with scars from past victories. It drifted toward Earth, a silent harbinger of subjugation. Within its command deck, Grand Strategist Cordell stood tall, his posture exuding contempt as he addressed his officers. "This world is nothing," Cordell declared. His voice, cold and dismissive, carried through the chamber. "Primitive. Divided. They still rely on combustion engines and projectile weapons. This will not be war. It will be a lesson in inevitability." The officers smirked, nodding in agreement. Earth had no planetary defenses worth considering. No fleet stationed in orbit. No sophisticated energy shielding. The species was woefully unprepared, unaware of the doom looming above them. Cordell observed the planet below, his eyes narrowing. The initial scans had puzzled him. No mass evacuations, no frantic distress calls to other civilizations. The humans weren't begging for mercy, nor were they mounting any visible resistance. It was unusual. "Perhaps they are paralyzed by fear," one officer suggested. "They have never faced a force like ours." Cordell allowed himself a thin smile. That was likely the case. Fear could be as effective as firepower. He activated the ship's transmission relay, preparing to send the standard ultimatum: submit or be erased. Before he could speak, a single signal pulsed across the void. It was not a distress call, not a plea. It was a message, simple and chilling in its certainty. "You shouldn't have come here." The bridge fell into silence. Some officers exchanged wary glances. Cordell scoffed. Bluffing. Desperation disguised as defiance. It made no difference. He ordered the weapon systems online, ready to fire a demonstration strike. If they would not surrender willingly, then fear would do the work for them. But as the ship's targeting systems locked onto a key city, an alert flashed across the screens. A projectile had been detected. An object, small and unassuming, launched from the planet's surface. Cordell barely acknowledged it. A missile? A railgun slug? Laughable. The Viezari's shields were impervious to such primitive efforts. He let out a dry chuckle, turning to his officers. "Let them fire. Their desperation will be." The impact cut him short. A violent tremor tore through the cruiser. Systems shorted out instantly. The shield matrix collapsed. An ear-splitting rupture echoed through the corridors as the ship split apart at the seams. One shot. One impossibly fast, hyperdense projectile had torn through layers of armor, shielding, and internal compartments, igniting a chain reaction deep within the vessel's core. The last thing Cordell saw before the explosion consumed him was Earth. And it was watching. Inside a secure military command center buried deep beneath the Earth's surface, the shot's impact was observed with quiet precision. Data streamed across screens, confirming what the operators already knew. One round. One kill. No celebration. No cheers. Just silent acknowledgement. It worked exactly as calculated. A general stood at the center of the room, arms crossed, watching the fragmented remains of the Viezari cruiser fall through the atmosphere. His voice was calm, controlled. "Send the message." A communications officer complied, transmitting the simple 6-word warning to the remaining fleet. No embellishments, no dramatics. Humans didn't deal in threats. They dealt in absolutes. Across the room, scientists and weapons specialists reviewed the engagement. The kinetic round had functioned perfectly, a dense tungsten projectile accelerated to hypersonic speeds by an advanced railgun platform. No energy shielding could stop it. No countermeasure could react in time. Humanity had long abandoned the sci-fi dreams of plasma and lasers. They had studied energy weapons, yes, but found them inefficient. Instead, they perfected physics. Massachusetts speed. Impact. A simple equation, one the universe itself obeyed. While other species sought to bend the laws of reality, Humans had embraced them and turned them into weapons that made a mockery of conventional defenses. An officer glanced at the strategic display. The Viezari fleet, once an overwhelming force, was hesitating, holding position.
Processing.
They're not firing, someone noted. They won't, the general replied. Not now. He knew how this played out. The Viezari had come expecting an easy conquest. They had encountered something else entirely. A civilization that didn't fight wars the way others did. A species that didn't engage in glorious battles or protracted sieges. Humans didn't fight fair. They waited. They planned. They ended conflicts before they even began. An alert flashed, a partial transmission intercepted from the Viezari command network. Fragmented, but clear enough. Unknown weapon immediate reassessment required, retreat under advisement. The general allowed himself the smallest hint of a smile. They understood now. Not just what had happened, but what could happen.